Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to a new edition of our show, Speak of Africa. We are very, very happy to see you once again and to talk to you. In fact, we want to start the show of today by thanking you for supporting us. We've realized that you guys are following us on social media as we requested. We say thank you very much because we really need your support to make the show more popular. And for the show of today, we want to explore the Memorial Holiday. The last few days, we've spent the time in the United States enjoying the Memorial Holiday. But amid the enjoyment, we always want you to understand what is happening behind the scenes. Because we think that you are people who think. You are not foolish. You are not just like zombies. You have to think. We spend time with our families, we enjoy it, but we also use this as time to reflect. In fact, today we're going to show you a whole lot of images, the way most Americans spend Memorial Holiday, especially the official part of it. Because this holiday is really intended as a memorial. We have to remember people who gave their lives so that we can enjoy freedom in the United States and in other parts of the world. Freedom is not really free. People don't really realize that there's a cost to freedom. Freedom is not a commodity you can just obtain without paying a price. So many people have really paid the ultimate price so that we can enjoy the freedom at home and abroad. So this holiday is usually intended as a time we should reflect, we should remember those people for their sacrifices to the United States and the world. When we look at this holiday, we like to take it and graft it within the African context. So by remembering the people who died, by remembering their actions, we are really ennobling them because these people are our national heroes. In America, we always remember most of the fallen. In Africa, we tend to forget those individuals who paid the ultimate price for us to be free. And for the show of today, we're going to intersperse the show with a lot of news. We're going to take events that are happening today, and then we'll take you back to African history so that you can have a context to understand Memorial Holiday. For the show of today, we're going to start by looking at Murtala Muhammad. Murtala Muhammad is a national hero. So on a day like this, we think the Nigerian government needs to really commemorate this individual because he came to power from 75 to 76, even though his tenure was very, very short, but he left an indelible mark on the African psyche. When I look at Murtala Muhammad, I always want you to remember the speech he made about Africa coming of age. This speech really focuses on the need for Africans to be mature, for the need for Africans to be independent, politically, socially, and economically. Economically, he wanted Africans to be able to provide for their population. Socially, he wanted the people to live in peace. Politically, he wanted the Africans to have freedom to determine their own destiny. This is the speech of Africa Coming of Age by Murtala Muhammad. So he was just telling us that, listen, we are no longer kids. We don't have to listen to the West. We have to pay attention to ourselves. We know what we want. The West should not be defining our interests. But people killed him, and the area where he was killed, we remember this area every day. When we look at pictures of the area, we just feel so bad because he was just killed in cold blood in the midst of traffic. This was a man, he was a really simple man, a very God-fearing man. So Murtala is really different. When we look at the next few days, we're going to be celebrating the second term of Mr. Buhari. The problems are still there. But we think that if Murtala Muhammad were still president, a lot of these problems would have been solved. He was a very young person. He was not old like Mr. Buhari. If he were in power, we would have solved a lot of the problems Nigeria is facing today. Murtala Muhammad had the energy to really deal with these problems. He was a man of action, and you could see what he was doing. And you look at corruption. Today, corruption is a major problem. Even though Nigeria has a lot of resources, and they depend a lot on oil revenue. But corruption has made it impossible for the average Nigerian to benefit from this wealth. Even the people who come from the area where the oil is produced complain that they are not benefiting from this oil. So this becomes the curse of oil in Nigeria. By contrast, when Murtala Muhammad was there, people could really see the hope. When he came, he brought a whole lot of hope. People could see that things are going to change. He fired people, and he said, my government shall not tolerate indiscipline. My government shall not tolerate abuse of office. So he held government officials accountable. People were really surprised that if they did not come to work on time, Murtala Muhammad would fire them. And he led by example. He went from one office to another, checking to see how things were going. He did not go with a lot of security, so that's why people eventually took advantage of that weakness to kill him. He was a simple man by the way he carried himself. He went around making sure that people were doing their jobs. He did not just sit in a big palace and expect work to be done. No, he went on foot. So he was a hands-on manager. He went on foot to really make sure that the work was being done. When we look at this, we salute him. And when we look at again what he really contributed towards the African liberation struggle, we say this is an African hero. Today, we're talking about the second term of Mr. Buhari. The challenges are still there. Now, we don't know whether Mr. Buhari would be different from what he has been. A lot of questions that the newspapers are raising. Is he going to be a dictator this time? Insecurity is still rife in Nigeria. Is he going to be able to tackle insecurity this time as a bolder candidate, since probably he knew that there will be no more chance of running again? So those are questions. Or is he going to become a bigger Muslim or Islamic zealot? Those are all questions that people are asking. But we know that Mr. Atiku, the train of the inauguration is on. So even though the issue with the election contest is in court, we don't really have any hope that Mr. Atiku would make any inroad, because the people just feel that Mr. Atiku was not a good candidate. As much as he has the business prowess, people just feel it was too corrupt. They just feel it was part of the problem Nigeria is facing. So when we look at this inauguration, we want to put a flashback. So when you look at the inauguration that is taking place on the 29th for Mr. Buhari's second term, we want you to go back and look at what would have happened if Mr. Murtala Muhammad were in power today. At his young age, he could have really done a lot more to help this country move forward. But when we look at this, we really say, on Memorial Holiday, this is time that we should really remember Murtala Muhammad. We have to remember what he did to move Nigeria forward. We have to remember what he did to move Africa forward. Because he was not just a Nigerian, he was a Pan-Africanist. Under his leadership, he was able to really engineer the collapse of colonialism in Africa. Most of those southern African states were really free because of the effort of Mr. Murtala Muhammad. So because of this, we have to give him a lot of thanks and praises. He did a good job, and we really appreciate this. We wish a leader like Mr. Buhari could really look at what Murtala Muhammad represented and try to copy. But the way we see it, he has so many personal limitations, age being one of them, which is why we're recommending that it's a good thing for the cabal that rules Nigeria to allow the young people to come in. But we know because of pecuniary interests, they don't want young people to come in, because young people will have a lot of dramatic ideas to change the nation. But they will change the nation with better ideas, which will be a good thing for the average Nigerian citizen. Already, some Nigerian politicians were even complaining about what the poor people may do to them. Yeah, because there's the anger of the poor people building. Because for so many years, all what they stood for, independence, has never really materialized. They are watching a show where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So we hope that this can change if we can remember Murtala Muhammad on a day like this. Even though he's been dead since 1976, but we still remember him. It's just like he just died yesterday. Because when we look at the problems Nigeria is facing today, those problems make us remember Murtala Mohammed fondly as the president who would have been the best in Africa. He was not interested in acquiring wealth, which is the stock in trade of the average politician today in Africa. They steal the money of the people. Mr. Murtala Mohammed was a God-fearing soldier, okay? He cared for his country, he cared for his family, and we salute him, and we want politicians to remember people of such caliber, because we really think he represents something new for Africa. So let's take Memorial Holiday as a time to remember Murtala Mohammed.
Take me to this place so I can get my taxes done. You know I'm trying to buy a new house. What's up?
Let's get it on. If you're searching for a house, call up my man Prince O'Jones, the best in real estate. Take it from your guy's shape. When I say his services are the best in the states where it's born, he even take care of your tax forms, fat refunds. So come, get your business done. Consultations, financial organization, fast processing, no waiting. This man is amazing. The Prince.
Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131.
Murtala Mohammed is not really alone in Africa. We have other people that we also like to praise and recommend to you. For one, we have, like in Congo DRC, today should also be a day we should use to remember Patrice Emery Lumumba. Patrice Emery Lumumba was one of the guys who really fought hard for the independence of the Congo, and he had a Pan-Africanist point of view. Just like Nkrumah, he wanted Africa to be free, and he wanted Africans to be in charge of their own destiny. Unfortunately, the Belgians connived with Mobutu Sese Seko to kill this individual in cold blood. And as we understood later, his body was burned in acid. So nobody has seen a trace of him today. Initially, the Congolese people were deceived that some villagers killed him and they don't know where to put his body. So that was a big lie. Later on, books have been written that have really exposed the truth about the killing of Patrice Emery Lumumba. Then sometimes when we look at Lumumba, we just say to ourselves, what would have happened if this guy had lived and if he had really ruled the Congo for a few years? He had a Pan-Africanist viewpoint and he had a nationalist orientation. So he did not just care for his tribe. No, he wanted the whole of Congo to be united, and he wanted them to work towards the liberation of the country from the vestiges of colonialism. And he paid the ultimate price because of this. So this is a national hero. He's an international hero. I know in the past, Franco has really produced music to praise Emery Patrice Lumumba. I remember the song Lumumba Héros National. That was really popular during the early 60s. But we could really do more to salute this individual, because these are our heroes. These are our national heroes. These are our international heroes. So the continent needs to remember them. When we are celebrating Memorial Holiday, we need to remember people like Patrice Emery Lumumba. So the new president, Felix Tshisekedi of Congo DRC, needs to spend some time to think. He should be measuring himself based on the standards of people like Lumumba. If he wants us to take him seriously like a president, he needs to be bold. He needs to look at stuff the way Lumumba looked at them. Because that's the only way the Congolese people can really wake up and enjoy the life that has really eluded them for so many years. This is a country that is probably the richest in the motherland. You'll be surprised that the average person is so poor. Poverty is everywhere, and we really feel bad that they cannot really enjoy the riches of the country. It's just like you are in the Garden of Eden, but you cannot touch a fruit, okay? It's like water everywhere, not a single drop to drink. So that's the kind of situation we see in the Congo. So we are really encouraging the new president, Felix Tshisekedi, to do as much as he can to emulate the example of Emery Patrice Emery Lumumba, because he had a lot of beautiful ideas. These beautiful ideas can really help in the development of the Congo. So by sitting around stealing money, he is saying he is not one of those who wants to steal money. That's good. So we want him to spend more time trying to work to unite the Congo and bring more peace. Some initial initiatives that he has embarked on are okay. Our only worry is the devil, because when you have Joseph Kabila around in the parliament, it really makes it difficult for the new president to do much. I think it took a while before he was even able to nominate a prime minister, just because the Kabila cabal will not allow him to do much. So we are hoping that eventually Felix Tshisekedi will try to work something out in a very clever way to really sideline the Kabila and the negative influence. If that can happen, that would be very, very good. So on a day like this too, we've talked about the Buhari inauguration. So we want you to start thinking also about Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso also represents a country of upright people. People want to walk upright. People want to be honest. Interestingly, when they had such a leader who was trying to take the country to new heights, dizzying heights, the French connived and killed him with his own friend Blaise Compaoré. Eventually, the people rose in a revolution and kicked out Blaise Compaoré, who had killed Sankara in cold blood. So when this happens, it's not really a good sign, because it's just telling us that these are the type of people we need to appreciate. We need to appreciate Thomas Sankara. On a day like this, when we're enjoying Memorial Holiday in the United States and other parts of the world, we need to take some moments to reflect, to really praise the people who really acted as a shining example of freedom. They tried to make life better for the average African. In the case of Sankara, he had a country that was not really rich, that did not really have a lot of resources, like natural resources. But he knew that his people had human resources. He tried to tap these human resources, and he tried to make do with the little that he had in that country. And when you look at some of the issues that have been raised in capitalism, they say, well, capitalism did not really take root in Africa because Africa does not have winter, okay? Capitalism without winter. So which means it's like necessity is the mother of invention. Africans were living in a paradise, so they don't have any problems. Because they're living in a paradise, they don't have to worry about problems. So God has given them so much, so this has discouraged them from venturing, from doing big things. So that's the logic some people have provided for the Malays of Africa, that the people are not really motivated to do anything because life is easy. You see, they have beautiful sunlight, beautiful weather. Maybe if God had given them bad weather like winter in the United States and much of Europe, probably Africans would have been forced to do something to improve their condition. We don't really like those negative views, but we think Sankara was able to show that even with the little that he has in his country, he could really do much. He came up with ideas about deforestation to try to help the environment. Then he tried to make it easy for people to have jobs. So he himself got the country on an austerity program, and he was poor himself. He did not enrich himself the way people like Compaoré came and stole money from the country. He lived a very, very simple life, and his own friend organized his assassination, which was really a bad thing. But we want that on a day like this, on Memorial Holiday, we need to sit down and reflect to remember our heroes. We need to remember how long shall they kill our great heroes and we just sit idly and look. So now is the time to stop just sitting idly and looking, okay?
Life insurance money secrets of millionaires and billionaires exposed. Discover how America's rich and famous exploit these arcane tools to build fabulous wealth. Why should these big white guys have all the fun? Let Prince Ojong, the celebrity author of The Miraculous Millionaire, show you the little understood life insurance way to riches. Are you still doubting the good things that life insurance can do for you? Trust strategies, estate planning, 401k rollover, annuity contract, cash value, education funding, executive benefits, income protection, life protection, living benefits, mortgage protection, tax-free retirement? Think and grow rich with life insurance. Your amazing journey to wealth begins by calling Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131.
The next, we're going to take you to Cameroon, where we don't really see any national hero, but the people who wanted to take Cameroon to independence. On a day like this, we have to start remembering people like Yobe. These are the leaders who represented the UPC. They are the people who really wanted independence for Cameroon. But this independence was hijacked by French interests. So on a day like this, we need to sit back, if we are thinking about Cameroon, to remember some of those heroes, like Felix Moumié, okay? Because these are the people who really fought for the independence of Cameroon during the 1950s until the 60s. So they fought and they died because they wanted the idea of a free Cameroon. They did not die in vain, because when you look at what is happening today in the country, Mr. Paul Biya, who is almost getting senile, and some people say it looks like he has dementia, he has been killing a lot of people, and his soldiers continue going out there killing people. Will show you, just because the people want to take this day to praise their heroes, okay, to remember their heroes, okay? When they remember their heroes, then it means they are fighting a just cause. So you can bring a prison, like we said, Cameroon today is more like we call it le pénitencier, the penitentiary. But you have these people, they are in jail, but they are behaving like they are really free people. Because in their minds, they are free. The person who is actually in jail is Mr. Paul Biya. So you can see now that on a day like this, it is a day of remembrance. Remembrance of our national heroes. Remembrance of our international heroes. So those people who have really fought and died for Cameroon should be celebrated. And which is what we are urging you to do on this show today. Because of Memorial Holiday, we want you to think, to remember all these people. Remember the good deeds. If you don't know much about them, go to Google and check. You'll be surprised how much information you'll be able to collect about some of these national heroes. I think that's also another good effort. Even if you don't really have a lot of information about these heroes, ask your friends their names, then go on the internet, especially a search engine like Google can help you to really collect a lot of information about our African heroes. So we are asking you to do this as an assignment. When you collect this information, share it with a lot of friends in your family. You realize that the people really like what is happening. So this is what we want you to do with the Memorial Holiday, okay? We don't want you to just sit and just worry about celebration, having a good time, drinking and partying, because animals drink and eat and do nothing else. You are a human being. You think, okay? God made you different. So we want you to use the divine power that you have, okay? You are made in the likeness of God. We want you to use this divine power to aspire to more stuff, to aspire to greatness, okay? When you do this, then you'll be living a more ennobling life. And that's what we're challenging you to do on the show of today. We want you to remember the heroes who have fallen. As much as we are remembering American heroes, we should not forget African heroes. That's the message we have for the show of today. We are remembering the people who gave us freedom in America, but let us not forget the people who have also shed a lot of blood so that Africa can be free. Okay? And some of these people started their movement from the colonial period. Some are even still dying today. When you look at a place like Cameroon, people are still dying today so that there can be freedom in that country. For more than 57 years, the French have hijacked that country, and they're running it like a French plantation. In fact, you're going to see much of what we have on Bolloré in 2013. That company has not respected them, because this is a company that just sucks the blood of Cameroonians. And we have a lot of images to show you what Bolloré is doing. This week, Bolloré is back again in the media because that company is having problems the way it treats workers. It treats workers like slaves on a plantation, and it doesn't want them to exercise their rights. Even when they've gone to court and they've won judgment against Bolloré, Bolloré is still not accepting and respecting court orders. So this week, the issue has gone again to the French courts, where they want to hold this company accountable. But Bolloré has too many cronies in the Cameroonian government, so that they tend to just ignore the evil doings of the company. But we think in the modern world, a company like this needs to be held accountable. When you watch this video, we're showing you a lot of images. We show you that this company is a very, very bad company in Africa, so that most Africans should do whatever they can to kick out the Bolloré enterprise out of Africa. Because this company is just like an octopus. It has so many tentacles, then they control everything, and there's nothing that they are really doing which is good for Africa. They don't really have, like, say, a philanthropic division which is doing charitable services to help Africans aspire to greatness. So when we're telling you now that look at Bolloré, even the problems we're seeing with teachers in Cameroon today, complaining about insecurity, all of this is because the people are angry. They feel like the French are taking their resources, so now it's time for them to rebel. So they are rebelling, and we really support their revolt. So Cameroon now is more like a penitentiary. That's the metaphor of that country, Le Pénitencier. Le Pénitencier, I think that was a song done by Johnny Hallyday, and I've decided to take that song and at least bring the lyrics, and I compose something new so that you guys can focus attention on the need for justice. Où est la justice? Où est la justice? We need justice. And that's really the message of this show of today. We need justice, and justice should come to Africa, not only Cameroon. So the song Le Pénitencier is a metaphor for the justice that we seek. So we thank you very much. Now we want to end our show of today. We think we've covered a lot of issues. We don't want the show to be long, but we like the fact that we have a short show, then we hit on the main points. So whenever you have any issue, feel free to contact us. Many of you are doing that already. You've been calling, and we've been chatting with you. You've been texting us. So whenever you text us, we respond. We're not just like some of those guys who think they are too big. When you communicate with us, we are happy because we like to share information. So we thank you very much, and we're asking you to subscribe to this show, invite your friends to subscribe, watch, then share the show. Share, share, share. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.
nuit.